Welcome back to a special edition of No Limits A podcast. Got my boy Luke with me. Y'all don't know Luke. I used to work with Luke at Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue for a year before I just quit.
Pretty much a year, yeah.
Yeah, we worked the back line with each other. Well, you was there on the weekends. I was there all week.
Yeah, except for the summer. During the summer,
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
All the time.
And we would just work the back line and just knock everything out. This is cool, man. We'd have very diverse conversations, just talk about anything. People just walking back and forth, just like looking at us like, what are y'all talking about? But it was cool, man. Cool individual. A lot of people think he's weird. We're all a little weird, but his weird is a good weird. There's a good weird and a bad weird. But hey, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the glorious introduction. I am Luke, Luke Eason. I am chilling with my boy, and I'm weird. I just graduated from Barton with degrees in theater, arts, and history, minor in psych. Got my first job offer as a history teacher today. Whoop whoop. Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And I write plays, direct plays. I work at Smithfield's currently. I'm about to quit that shitty place, but yeah.
He's gonna win an Emmy one day.
I'm gonna try. But yeah, that's me. I like nerd stuff, comics, D&D, video games. I love books, yada yada yada. Yeah,
What system you on?
It's just PC.
PC?
Yeah, I'm
You
better
still got
than
a
you.
gamer tag, right?
Huh?
You still got a gamer tag though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get your gamer tag and put you in the description. Y'all go, if you're on PC or whatever, you play D&D.
Yeah.
Oh, did you say DVD or
D&D.
D&D? What is
Dungeons and
D&D?
Dragons.
Oh, Dungeons and Dragons. Hey, if you're into Dungeons and Dragons, I've never really experienced that, but hey, I know a lot of people that have, dealt with Dungeons and Dragons and warlocks and warlords and all that type of thing. I'm more of a Call of Duty, Clash of Clans kind of guy. But hey, whatever floats your boat. But topic of the day that I want to get into that really piqued my interest. That has always piqued my interest, really. And I hear so many different theories from so many different people. Is law of attraction versus what the Bible says or what people believe it to be. Or I'm saying. Really, what I'm asking is law of attraction versus the Bible and what it says to be, the manifestations of what God has stored. Or do you know anything about the law of attraction or
This is a good teaching moment for me because I probably know the concept if you had described it to me, but
the law of attraction is basically like this new way of thinking almost. I don't say it's a new way of thinking, but other people do. They say it's a new way of thinking, and they basically chalk it up to you're basically let's say you're trying to manifest like this perfect life, or you're trying to create this perfect life for yourself, and you're basically focus on nothing but just that perfect life every day. You would just be trying to put yourself in that life, and that's how you would just create that life. It's just of course you're working towards that, but you're also you're doing different things. Like you might be saying this one word every day repetitiously to get it in your subconscious brain, or you might be trying to sleep but stay awake subconsciously so that you can travel in your dreams and piece together, or just some crazy thing like that. But really, hold on, I figured I have my laptop right here sometimes.
It's kind of sounding like a kind of Calvinist versus free will kind of thing, like a free will versus fate.
Right.
That's kind of what it's seeming like? Am I too far off?
No, you're actually right in the ballpark with it.
Okay.
So the law of attraction is a philosophy suggesting that the positive thoughts bring positive results into a person's life, while negative thoughts bring negative outcomes. It is based on the belief that thoughts are a form of energy, and that positive energy attracts success in all areas of life, including health, finances, and relationships. Now, a lot of people associate that with, with when you hear the law of attraction, it's like oh, especially, to people who go to church or people who are within, who have a relationship with Christ and all that, who are deep into it, look at it like, oh, this is demonic, this is witchcraft, because how can you, what do you mean, what is this new age thinking, our thoughts are heavenward and they come from, all thoughts are, centered around God, and, the vision comes from God, that, and I'm not questioning that, but I'm like, is it wrong to want to think positive on something that you want, like with your theater, I'm pretty sure you want to do something with that. Would it be wrong? Of course, we have to have faith behind everything we do, and of course everybody's different. Not everybody's gonna believe in the same things that I do. Me and you might not believe in the same things, or but we both have that. We both have passions in life. We both have a life that we do want to achieve.
Yeah.
We're still human at the end of the day. So I'm like, is it wrong for us to, which we all instinctively use positive thinking or positive affirmations at some point in our life. You know what I mean?
I guess it's just the varying levels.
And yeah. I just kind of want to get your take on it. Like, how do you see it versus, now that you kind of, I guess, got a little better understanding on it.
Yeah. So definitely, it's what I thought. It's the same thing I know, but just by a different name. My take is that it's a messy mix. You can take this as far as something like I mentioned it, like a Calvinist approach, where everything is already predestined for you, everything is already set out for you, so why fight it? And of course, that's juxtaposed with the idea of free will, which is something that humanity has been struggling with since humans have existed. Is if there is a God, if there is a plan, is anything that I do really worth it? That's where that's when you get into egocentrism and nihilism, kind of those doomer takes on life. My specific stance is this, and for context, for me, I am a Christian man. I'm a faithful man.
Hey. Jesus saves.
He sure does. But I believe that God giving us free will is a strange kind of paradox in a way, but I don't think that's specifically a bad thing. I think God, he has a plan for all of us. It sounds cheesy as hell, it's overplayed, yada yada, but to some degree, he has a plan. How exactly we choose the branching paths that we choose is one thing, but I don't specifically think it's wrong to operate with the law of attraction, because it's
certain aspects of it.
Certain aspects of it. Obviously, if you're coming at it with, so let's take it to the opposite extreme, right? We talked about predestination. So let's take it to witchcraft. Obviously, witchcraft is strange. If you participate in it, I mean, hey, that's your business, whatever. Yeah. But the thing to remember is that if you're taking it that far, obviously you're still operating under that law of attraction. But you're kind of, let's just call it what it is. It's a little silly. You might say that me believing in God but not in witchcraft may be silly.
Right.
But at the end of the day, having faith in something and then combining a bunch of plants together to try and, make it so that a dog bites off your ex's cock, that's like two different things.
Yeah.
So, I don't see anything specifically wrong with positive affirmation, as long as you stay realistic.
Yeah. Now, I think, because when I first came into knowing what law of attraction was, because somebody else was trying to put me onto it, and he was trying to put me onto like the numbers, like the sequential numbers, like the 222s and the 555s and all that type of stuff. I mean, hey, I've always heard that God deals in numbers too, so you never know. I mean, I'm not against it, but I'm just like, it can mean so many different things.
Definitely.
You go on the internet, type in 222, it can mean this. Then you go on the website, it can mean this, then this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a common misconception about, 666. People associate it with, demonic presence and Satan and everything, but it literally means the opposite. In fact, not even the opposite. It's just not either.
Yeah,
It's strange.
yeah.
And
But I see why, you know, another form of culture could take it and spin it for their own, and then it just grows to that.
Oh,
Now
definitely.
it's like, so that history of his 666 is so washed under, you know, that when we see it, it's like innately in our brain, like, oh, that, you know, that's bad. You
Yeah.
know, when you see it in The Conjuring, or, you know, just any horror movies that deal with like,
yeah,
you know, demonic stuff.
yeah. It's always
And,
the number.
You know, I don't want to get too off subject, but I'm just like, I've dealt with that for so long. I've always had that conversation in my head, you know, is it bad to want to live a good life on this earth while we're here? You know, because you only get one life. So I'm like, you know, we have that free will. And me and Daniel were just talking about it earlier. We was like, you know, yeah, we have that free will, but you also have that choice of how you want to get to that life that you want to live. You know, yeah, you could go see all these, you know, palm readers. You know, first off,
Scammers.
exactly. Like, I don't believe in paying somebody to tell me what my fortune is. You know, I
Yeah.
feel like life is a mystery anyway. So I feel like either you get to I feel like either you get there, you know, you got to put the work in to get there. But if you don't get there, you probably didn't do something, or it's probably just not your time yet.
Yeah. With faith, you have to be realistic and you have to be smart.
And you gotta have faith even when, you know, times even rough.
Yeah, a lot of people lose it. I mean, the thing is, and that's how people like this, you know, they earn a living. I mean, palm readers take advantage of people that are
lacking on something.
They're lacking in some way.
they smell
Either
it.
they have lost someone, or they are not wholly committed to what they believe in, or whatever it be. And that's why I say you got to be smart, because you can't blindly having faith in things leads to horrific, awful things. But if you're realistic about what you're doing, what you're after, and you are confident, that's another thing, is confidence, you're going to be fine. You know, I think a healthy mix of both of these perspectives is the best way to go. You know, for me, I'm not going to, you know, live like a starving artist. I'm not going to put myself on the street.
You're gonna at least think.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm going to work at my shitty fast food job. I'm going to teach while I do this. And, you know, if it never works out or spirals into something or blooms into something like bigger and better, you know, that's fine.
Well,
you know,
I'm glad you said all that, because let me drop a bomb on you. I quit Sheets.
Whoa! The jacket should have. Oh! The jacket should have.
Yeah, no,
Tip
I
me
don't
off.
work for you all either.
Ah!
Yeah. You thought so, huh? Nah, I don't work for neither one of them.
2 red herrings.
Yeah.
Man.
No, I figured out that I don't like food service anymore. Like, I just got to the point, you know, I made it supervisor, and I got there, and I'm just like, I don't know, I keep telling the same story and over, but I just got there, and I'm just like, man, everything was the same every day. It's the same exact thing. Come in, do this, do that. Go home.
Yeah.
Leave at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
And you've been in food service for how long?
7, 8 years.
7, 8 years.
And I'm a man of purpose. You know, I gotta find my purpose. And I've been doing that. You know, of course, I was playing baseball for a little minute, but I stopped doing that. And, you know, I went back to went back to food service, and, you know, I look up, yeah, I'm making supervisor. That's cool and everything. But just the hustle and the agitation of dealing with customers and everyday work lifestyle, and I just wasn't pulling nothing from it. Like, I wasn't having any kind of purpose fulfilling it. And even though I didn't have anything lined up, you know, I just threw caution to the wind. I mean, I can go work with Daniel and do plumbing. That's more effective for me because, you know, I also don't have a whole lot of skills added to me except food service, except making a fucking sandwich. So I was just like, man, fuck it.
How did you so 6-7 years, I've been working at Smithfields for a little over 6 years. I can't imagine doing it for another year. So I definitely understand what you're coming from. How did you get into this never-ending loop? Was there never a plan, like, initially?
Well, man, So I got into fast food like with Smithfields, and long story short, I just wasn't being more proactive with myself. I look back on it, I was not being proactive. I wasn't thinking ahead. I was just stuck on baseball. I thought I was gonna do something with baseball, and I wasn't like looking at other opportunities. You know what I mean? Like I could have got into something else and stuck with that, and I could be like Daniel, getting off at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon and making money already. Instead, I'm just like going with the flow of fast food, and you
Right.
finally get to that point where or that age, even for me, where it's like you look back on it, for me anyways, and I like spent 7 years in fast food service or just food service alone, and I'm like, I've tried different jobs. I tried working. I was working at QVC, but of course, that burnt down. And then, I just could never really find my niche really for what I really want to do. It's always been what I have to do, and then that always just drains me out mentally, physically. And with Smithfields, I was just stuck in one spot, doing the same thing. And with Sheets, it's like it was the work drama, but it was the work itself. Then it was the lack of work or lack of commitment from other people. Then the workload just got to be much, and I just look up and I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, what purpose am I really serving myself? So I just, threw caution to the wind.
Because you're what, like 26?
27.
27.
Coming up on 30, man.
Coming up on 30. Yeah, it's definitely that feeling of you're hitting that point,
Well, you need something, right?
Yeah. You see, for me, it's easy. You know, I found my passion really
And you
early.
can go, so it's like you can go do Smithfields because, hey, you ain't gonna be there that long.
Yeah.
Plus, you were in high school working at Smithfield, so it wasn't that bad. So because you were high school kid,
yeah.
Okay, whatever. For me, I'm an adult. So I gotta make money to survive. You feel me? So I just kind of hey.
Yeah, I get that. So is baseball like the thing you still want to do, or
Nah.
do you think it's kind of transitioned into something
It's
else?
transitioning to something else.
And what
This right here.
This right here?
Yeah, I'm about to enroll back into my classes. Cause that's another thing. I had to stop school just to focus on being a supervisor.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
how
know
deep into it I was, and that's what really kind of got me down because, the job itself was a lot on me, and then I was feeling a little pressure, but then it's like when school gave out and I had to drop my classes, I was just like, man, because that was feeling like my thing. I studied human interaction. I'm good with talking to people. So I put that into psychology, and that's what I want to do. That's what I want to get my degree in, and take that and build that into something.
Right.
And for me to have to do that and, look back the next day and go to work and see what I gave up school for when this is really nothing. And it's crazy because the customer told me, man, this is nothing. Man, this job is nothing. This job is nothing.
Yeah.
Just talking to him one day.
I think this is like a prime example of like this is a wider issue, and inherently a political one. This is we're at a point in the United States where people throw around this term late stage capitalism.
Yeah.
This is where we're at.
So let me just check the camera real quick.
Oh, you're good.
You keep talking.
But we're at a point where inflation is through the roof. There, you have to make probably at least like 40-50 grand a year just to be low class.
And I made more than a police officer, and I was still struggling, bro.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, it's insane. And at the same time, you're trying to better yourself, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but it's you just can't. Like it's not a thing you can just do.
Exactly.
We're living in such a horrible time. This is why I advocate for a 4-day work week. There's places like Sweden, places all over Europe that employ this kind of this want to improve the mood, the lives, the stability of their people, and as a result, they're happier.
Right.
But the United States is so, lobbying is still a thing for some reason. There's a writer's strike right now, man. I mean, there's a million things that are keeping us from doing that, and you're like a prime example of the United States kind of just using you for like whatever. And I mean, me too. I mean, I've been working in a fucking shitty service industry
Like,
job
man,
for
my
6 years.
abilities have been like, when I think about it, like I'm really just making food for people to go consume, and that's really it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Do some paperwork, and that's it.
They give you enough to survive barely.
Like, yeah, like I finally get to making like $18 an hour. They don't, hey, good checks, but they go fast. They go fast.
Yeah.
They go really fast.
Especially today.
Yeah.
I mean, it's higher than, inflation's higher than it was in the 70s.
And I was thinking about, man, I could probably save a couple, save up some money, get a car. But then, car insurance, let alone if I do get a car note, gotta pay for that. On top of rent, lights, Wi-Fi. It's just like, man, I'm just chilling with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So,
It's everything. We have elected officials that are 4 generations older than us. We have people that are so incredibly out of touch, that are focusing on the wrong thing, that are focusing on just taking rights away from people, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, Robert DeSantis is a demon. He's like so incredibly anti-trans people and anti-workers' rights and anti-everything, and he's gonna try to run for president.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sorry to derail this into a political
No, you're
podcast,
good.
but
You're good.
like this stuff is. There's people that say, "Oh, keep politics out of stuff." Everything's political. Everything is inherently political. Your video games, they're political. Your movies, they're political. This conversation, the reason you had to drop out of school, the reason you're in your doomer mode right now,
Yeah.
is because of politics.
Yes.
The way that our country is being run compared to other countries, it's ridiculous. It's tragic. And I love this country. I do.
I do too, because we have a lot of freedom that most countries don't have.
Yeah.
You go anywhere else,
Yeah.
most stuff is banned.
And
Or
there
some
is
stuff you can't even do.
there is a lot of opportunity, but there's opportunity for people that don't need it. It's on a person basis. There's a lot of times where your skills, even if you have them, they don't amount to anything.
Right.
If you don't have the connections, you have to know somebody. And if you don't know anybody, well, you're fucked.
Exactly.
And you're just trying to do your thing. You're trying to survive. I mean, how the fuck are you supposed to pull yourself up if there's nothing to pull yourself up with? That might have been true in like the 50s or 60s and earlier
It's
before
even
that.
truer now.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like right here in my face. I'm living it.
Uh-huh.
I'm living it. Got to the highest point I can with food service. Well, I didn't get to the highest point, but I got to a pretty good point. As a black man,
Yeah.
and a lot of people were good to see. A lot of people were happy to see that. They were happy to see just because I was the only guy there, well, I was not gonna say the only black guy, but the only black man as a supervisor there. And a lot of customers would see that, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but I can do something. I can do something more with this.
Yeah.
Like I can do something better to be a supervisor.
Yeah.
Like
Definitely.
I've always felt I have a passion, for people, but just for the world in general. I've always felt like I have like some kind of message to spread to the world.
Definitely.
Just from talking to different people, and it just always when I talk to somebody, I like to leave something with them or take something with me.
Yeah.
And culminate that all into just from meeting you to everybody that I know. I always try to leave a little impact. That's why I started this. That's why I started doing this. That's why I want to get more people in to do a podcast. Just to talk to them, get their insights on different opinions on different topics, and
This circles back to the law of attraction too, because I mean, you're essentially, I wouldn't say you're going against what God wants for you. I think this is what God does want for you.
Yeah,
He
and
wants
I
for you
didn't go through any kind of process to do this. I didn't go see no palm readers. I didn't I asked God, hey, I need something. I
Yeah.
can't I got to, like, man.
I think to a certain point we need aspects of law of attraction, you know.
Yeah, certain aspects,
in moderation we need
Yeah.
it, because without it, you know, because here's the thing, there in context to our situation, to our political state in the United States, excuse me, but in our specific state, our lives are being dictated by people that we don't even know. They're being dictated by people that don't care about us, that are only looking out for themselves, and the ones that claim to want to help are not helping. So with that being said, I feel like if we were in a point where we had more control over our lives, this would be one thing. Then we would really have to moderate how much, you know, how much faith we put into certain things, and obviously how much we rely on that law of attraction. But now it's necessary. It's very necessary, because we don't have that control. So you doing this is your way of like defying, you know, those people that are above us, those people that have essentially put you into this never-ending cycle of fast food service, and, you know, put me also in a perpetual cycle of probably directing community plays and never getting hired, you know, because
Right.
you have to get lucky,
Right.
you know, and whatever God's plan is,
That's just the plan for you.
that's, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it is. You can do.
And I'm just at the point, hey, whatever he lets me fall off into, that's what I'm falling off into. I just, you know, I want something that I know I'm going to be passionate about, that I'm not just going to just be doing it just to get a check. Of course, I want to get paid for the things that I do. I want to make a good amount.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I just want to do something that I actually want to do, instead of something that I, you know, just have to do just to get by.
Yeah.
Look at that camera there, see if it's still rolling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey man, this is for the first, you know, guest on my podcast. This has been a scooting a little bit. This has been a very diverse conversation. Just remember, here I'll always have very diverse conversations with you for some odd reason. I don't know. Like, we start on one and then we just take it to like a whole another 10. Like, we started with the law of attraction and how it, you know, differs from the Bible, and how you know, certain people think from it, and it just kind of levied into something else. But yeah, I appreciate you coming through and, you know, spitting your points on it. My whole take on, just to spin it back to, you know, the first topic, my thought on it, my final opinion on it, from my observation, is that, you know, I think you're right. We can pull from the law of attraction certain aspects of it in moderations. Of course, not going overboard with it. Like, you know, I don't know if you've ever heard the book, The Secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna go overboard and just start reading all that. Like, that's like, 'cause I'm not. I don't know if you've seen the book, but I've seen the book, you know, in libraries and stuff, and I'm like, you know, I'm not about to read all this just to, you know.
It's a lot of, you see it a lot in the self-help
Yeah,
kind of books,
exactly.
and it's always like, look in the mirror and say, I'm gonna fuck the world today, like 5 times, and then go outside and tell 3 people I'm gonna fuck the world. You know, it's always something ridiculous.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, why does it have to be so hyped up? Like, oh, like, I remember when that book first dropped, and everybody was trying to get to it. Like,
Yeah.
yo, like, come on now. Like, it's not that serious. Like, man, just work hard. If it's not for you, it's just not for you.
Yeah,
Like, don't force it.
definitely.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, just try to have a good time, and, you know, like I said in my previous videos, you know, go for what you know, and you know, if you have a passion, or if you have a dream about something, you have a vision about something, fall off into that. You know, you don't need to go over here to the gypsy and take 2 chicken heads and 3 goat heads and sacrifice all this to get to where you want to be. If it's not for you, then there's a reason why you probably don't have that.
Yeah.
You'll probably be a danger to yourself if you had that. It's the reason why most people aren't millionaires and billionaires out here. Probably be a danger to themselves.
Yeah. Also, the correct phrase is Romani people. The Romani people.
See, this
Not
man
the-
is good.
not the-
This man is good.
It's a slur. That's. I'm just.
Thanks for correcting me on that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I just.
But anything else you want to leave with us?
Choice. Just choice is the most important thing. A lot of my writings, a lot of my, the novel I'm writing, the plays that I write, they gravitate around the theme of choice, the choices that humanity will and can make that are sometimes dark and gruesome. Most times, honestly, dark and gruesome choices that are difficult in nature. But it's those choices that define you. It's those choices that lead you to the points that you're at. There are some things you can't control, obviously. The place that you're born, the race you are, and obviously those two factors and a hell of a lot more factors are going to play into who you're going to be and how you're going to be treated in this world. But you have to do the punk thing. You have to do every possible thing in your way that you can to defy those things that are set in place to carve out your own destiny. Because life is what you make it. There are certain things you can't control, but at the end of the day, it's you. So go out there, get it done, fuck the world! Yada yada.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming by, Luke.
Of course.
I appreciate you. I will be uploading this today, actually, because I got a good vibe from this. I'll probably be asking you later on how we want to title this.
Yeah, totally.
And all that. But thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate everybody for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Give me your thoughts, opinions on what you think. I'll probably be splitting this up into like a two-parter because we touched on a lot of topics and I just liked how we was going. So Luke, just thank you for coming by. Hopefully you come back again and do another podcast.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Man, just hit me up whenever.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We gotta get a handshake down.
Handshake.
Yeah.
Get a handshake.
But thanks for tuning in, y'all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.